Welcome to Not Ashamed. I'm your host, Ashley Nordman, and thank you for joining me again as we talk about bullying today. I want to talk about one story that just happened recently because my life is a fucking reality TV show, I swear. So I took a drug test this week, which never in my life thought that would be how my Monday morning started, but literally at 8 a.m. found out I was going to have to take a drug test. So took a drug test. I did a urine sample and a hair sample. I was supposed to also do a toenail sample, but that's disgusting. And we'll talk about that at another time maybe. But I just did the urine and the hair sample. And honestly, the hair sample was freaking traumatizing. Like, you know, the size of like a fat Sharpie marker? That's how much hair they cut out of my head. Literally at the base of my hair. Like, mortifying. I had tears in my eyes as this was happening. And essentially, there's people out there that claim that I'm on illegal drugs. And I feel like I've gone through like a mourning process where I went from just like very shocked and upset to sad to angry. And now I'm like a little pissed off still. Yesterday, I was like really pissed off. Today, I'm like actually not bad. I'm like, okay, whatever, this is bullshit. But in the moment, I was like feeling all the feelings. And again, this is just another example of liars out there trying to make me look bad and ruin my reputation, which is disgusting. Like, I'm literally in my 30s. Are we ever gonna like grow up here? Like, I don't get it. So took a drug test, got the results back already. I'm happy to report that I'm not on any drugs. I took like a 10-panel drug test that checks you for every single thing, like every main drug out there. The hair sample is like a 90-day sample, I guess they call it, where like it checks your drug use over the last 90 days. And then the urine sample, I think, is like 24 or 48 hours or something. And it was literally the day I got back from Mexico too. So if I was ever going to do drugs, it would have probably been in Mexico, and I didn't, and I was clean. All my stuff is completely negative. And so I was obviously really pissed off hearing about this because the fact that people are running around claiming I'm on drugs is just like a new low to me. And it's like disgusting, like literally disgusting. And I had to really do the same inner work that I've done over all the years here, working through getting bullied and attacked by people, because this is something that is just a recurring thing at this point. And truthfully, I was going to just not say anything about it, but I do think in some instances, you should shut people down. You should get them to shut the hell up and stop making accusations that are completely wrong about you. I think small things don't matter, but big things like this, like literally saying that I'm using illegal drugs like cocaine or meth or something, oh no, I'm going to shut that down. Like, that's getting shut down. There's a time and place to stand up for yourself, in my opinion, and I'm not going to be a doormat anymore and let people walk all over me because I've stayed quiet about enough shit. But with this, it was like, oh, don't you dare. Don't you fucking dare. Because if you're going to accuse me of this stuff, then you better have the freaking means to back it up, which you don't. And you better have a valid reason for why you're saying this, which you don't. And so to me, I was like, you know what? I'm going to embarrass these idiots and prove to them that I'm not on drugs. So yes, I posted online my test results and shared to the world that I am not on any drugs. And basically shared on Instagram, like, if you have a problem and you think I'm using drugs, like, you can come straight to me, because I don't want to hear it through the grapevine, and I sure as shit don't want to hear it from my lawyer that I need to get drug testing done. So I'm going to use this instance as a great example for how to give you pointers on how to get through this and how to overcome, like, steps and things that you can put in place if you are dealing with being bullied or accused of shit, like literally me getting accused of being on drugs. So one example is shutting everyone down by proving them wrong, but in a way where you don't necessarily like yell back at them or cause a fight, where you just do something where you kind of put your foot down, but it does come with risk, right? Because when you do that, you run the risk of then starting an actual brawl, or these people like coming back at you, or like stirring the pot a little bit. But again, you can't be a doormat your whole life. And I think there are times and places where it's important to stand up for yourself. And in this instance, it was such a big accusation to me that I wanted to just squash it. So, you know, in this situation, it made sense to actually stand up for myself. Another thing you can do, remove yourself completely from these people. A lot of times the people that bully you are very, very close to you. They're your friends, they're your family, they're an ex, they're someone you're actually with, like whatever it might be. And so the only way to, really distance yourself from them is by either cutting them off completely or setting very, very strong boundaries with them. And what boundaries look like is the things that you are and aren't okay with accepting from them. So like if you have them talking to you about things that make you uncomfortable, or they're doing things to you that make you feel uncomfortable, you set a boundary by not allowing them to do that anymore. And so I really urge you, if you're dealing with bullying or people that are trying to drag your name through the mud, like I have dealt with, to find a way to completely distance yourself. If you keep a close connection with them or keep arguing with them or just like keep them under your wing or whatever, chances are you're never going to escape it because they're too close to you. They're too involved, and you have to like cut off that involvement. So another thing that you can do is, and this has helped me probably the most, and it's something I've already talked about, but it's building that confidence within yourself. Because the thing is, when you deal with bullying, it absolutely can affect your confidence. It affects how you feel about yourself. It affects everything about who you are and what you think of yourself. And a lot of times we don't believe in ourselves because someone told us that we can't. And that often comes from bullies, or it even comes from like childhood, like our parents or someone that was really important in our life that told us we couldn't trust ourselves, we couldn't believe in ourselves. And so the biggest thing you can do is turn that bus around and learn for yourself that you can believe in you and you can trust you and you can accomplish things that you say you're going to do. And so building confidence is something that is a lifelong thing for sure, but the best way to do that is to create healthy habits. So start doing things consistently, start working out, start eating better, start sticking to your commitment, start getting up early. Like when you start telling yourself, I'm going to do this, and then you do it, that's when you build confidence. And the confidence piece is so huge because when you're bullied and accused of things, it makes you start believing that that's who you are. And that's like literally what takes your confidence away. And so I just really urge you to not only potentially stand up for yourself when you need to, but distance yourself from those toxic people and then go do something good for yourself. So another thing that I do, especially when I'm dealing with extra amounts of bullying and just people kind of coming at me, is I just really refocus. Like I get back in church. I start journaling again. I make sure I'm doing all the right things to focus on my mental health, because mentally it is draining. It fucking sucks. I hate having to wake up every day dealing with this stuff. And right now I feel like I'm in such a good place where even hearing that people think I do drugs just like actually makes me laugh. It's like comical. Where like 10 years ago, I'd be so paranoid. Like, who's saying this about me? What are they like? Where are they coming from? Why do they feel like that? Do I look like someone who does drugs? Do I seem like somebody who is that irresponsible? Blah, 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 blah. Like all these endless thoughts. And I just don't fucking care because I know me and I know that ain't me. And it kind of just bounces off me now. And a really reassuring feeling that I have now is that, which I guess it isn't really reassuring, but it's something that I just kind of have learned to accept, is that the bullying is never going to go away. For as long as I live, like as long as I keep being who I am, this kind of stuff is going to pop up again and again. And I'm going to constantly have people and things trying to stop me and drag me down. And for some weird reason, I've just like learned to accept it and embrace it and go, you know what? This is never going to go away. I'm always going to be dealing with this, and that's okay. And something about just accepting it and like letting go is so healing when you're dealing with stuff like this, because it just kind of disassociates you from worrying about, well, what if it happens again? No, it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. The type of person you are, you obviously threaten people not because you're a bad person and not because you want to threaten people, but because these insecure people that see you doing things that they will never have the balls to do, that's why they come and attack you. That's why they drag you down, because they don't want to see you excelling and them just being a lowlife. And you're only going to let them win if you give in to them. And so for me, it's not responding, not reacting, not doubting myself, because any of that means that they have the power and they have the control, and I'm not giving it to them. They don't deserve it. So to wrap things up, I'm sure I'll have more stories of me getting bullied and me having people drag me through the mud, because this is never going to go away. And it's something that I've embraced and accepted. And while I might look like somebody who handles this stuff with grace and ease, I will tell you, it is not easy. It is not something that I wish on anyone. But what I will tell you is it has made me very strong, and it's helped me realize that I have to know exactly who I am, and I have to have very strong boundaries in place. Sorry, that's my dog, and she keeps shaking because she, has itchy ears and allergies. But it's just, I try to twist it into a positive. Going through this is hard, but it's making me a stronger person, and it's helping me really understand the type of people I will and won't accept in my life, and that people's opinion of me is none of my business, even if it can be hard to hear sometimes. So I would love to hear your stories. If you've dealt with bullying or people trying to drag your name through the mud, or if you've ever had to do a drug test because some Looney Tune thinks that you're on drugs, please tell me, let me know, make me feel less alone. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I always love and appreciate hearing your feedback, especially when you guys message me on Instagram at Nordman. You can find me there on Instagram, like I said, and you can also find my skincare business there too at AN Skin and Beauty, which if you need some skincare, hit me up. So, all right, till next time, thank you guys so much. Be loud, be proud, and be shameless. Visit us at anskinbeauty.com to shop all of our medical grade skincare.